All the boomers are angry that I'm with a man that's in prison and on death row.
President Donald Trump granted full pardons to reality TV stars Todd and Julie, who have been serving 12 and 7-year sentences, respectively, for bank fraud and tax evasion.
Talking about how your family might react if you share your relationship to them and coming out to your family.
Obviously, all of our relationships, y'all, are... Some people can take them and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what it is. And then other people, when you tell them, will look at you like you have like 7 heads, you know? There's like people that are accepting of it, and there's people that aren't ever going to be accepting of it. And then there are people that, you know, you can kind of talk to, and maybe they'll get on board with it. And then... Unfortunately, sometimes those people are your family. We talk about it, but we don't talk about it too much. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to kind of have a whole episode that's about when the family, friends, and people that are your like support system around don't approve of your relationship.
Amen. How to handle the roadblocks.
Yes.
Obviously, talking about the different reactions that can be just curious reactions or cruel reactions. I think my parents thought that, honestly, that this was a phase I was going through because of my divorce at the time.
We're gonna show you guys all of these and how to deal with that, okay?
We're role playing.
This is for the prison wife. Still don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through
You okay?
Lost a nail.
Uh-oh, no.
Nail down. Nail down.
Girl down. Oh gosh.
Hi.
Press it back on. Hi friends. Anyway, sorry. Well, I guess today I went through all of the comments on Facebook. Seems to be the worst out of all of them. Huh?
With Scene TV.
Yeah, okay, so if our friends are listening, I did a Scene TV interview a few weeks ago. It came out on Tuesday on all social media platforms. And the worst comments, there are some hateful ass people on Facebook. Well, it's an older crowd too. You know, like Facebook is the older crowd. So obviously all the boomers are angry that I'm with a man that's in prison and on death row.
Yeah.
Apparently I'm all the names in the book. Nothing I say is good enough for them at all. So, you know.
You really ruined their day by being in a relationship with someone on death row.
Yeah. Yeah. Clearly. And one lady was like, I had to block her because one lady was like telling me, I demand you give me his name and like all this crazy stuff. And I'm like, whoa, ho, slow your roll. Like, you know, like, no, I'm not like, I tried to talk to people and some people were just like, you know, like sending, like wishing me that I would go to hell, basically.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's like, I think the first jump that when people get defensive towards us, they're like, oh, well, what if that was your loved one that was dead? Or like, you know, something like crazy like that, where it's like, and what part of that whole like story did you ever not show like remorse? You know what I mean? They literally took one line of one thing you said and spun it into this narrative of you saying that Michael wasn't taking accountability.
Yeah. Because I even said on there, he made a terrible decision, and that even wasn't good enough for them. They were like, he's a murderer. Like they wanted to burn him at the pike, like for real. Yep. Like they had their pitchforks, and it was an angry mob of people. So today I asked Chatty GPT, my homegirl Chatty, you know, basically, what are some words of affirmation because I'm getting hate online? And basically, you know, I go to ChatGPT for inspiration, and she told me, you know, what people say online is more about them than it is about you. And basically, like, gave me 8 affirmations. I posted on my Facebook page because I was just so moved by it. Like, and I was feeling down after reading those comments today because I keep getting I finally had to turn off my notifications today. Turned them off because I'm not going to do it anymore. I'm not engaging crazy ass people. Sorry. And I read those 8 affirmations to myself, and I felt so much better. So
why didn't they reply to me? So many people didn't reply to me. I just wanted to have a talk with them on that. on the video.
Yeah. Well, so I don't know, maybe because you're,
I gave them logic and I wasn't
yeah,
fighting with them,
yeah,
and
you're
I was like
coming at them
acting
with information and logic and rational details, and they're not listening. They don't want to listen to any of it.
literally like someone who was like some girl that commented on it that was like said something like, "Oh, imagine how desperate," or something. I was like, "Wow, look how cool you are, girl, sitting here
Yeah.
like doing nothing."
Well, and these people are miserable, and all they do is sit online clearly and make evil bully type comments at people. Even one person says, "I don't agree with everything she's saying, but you guys are fucking mean." Like, I was like impressed. So,
I can appreciate
and
people like that.
yeah, yeah, like we don't have to agree, but you don't have to be a dick
Yes.
either. You know what I mean? Um, so yeah, and I get why hey, this is the reason why prison wives live underground, you know?
The amount of
And
people that came out and were like so like thankful that you did that and use
yeah,
that platform to share your story, and in a weird way I know that it helps people like us feel
yeah,
comfortable because like we all know these things, but like to be able to like help and fight for you and know that we're also like fighting for like ourselves too, it just like I feel like it just reaffirms everything because you're looking at these people and you're like, these people are crazy that are getting so upset over a relationship. Like I can't imagine anyone's relationship upsetting me to that point. That's not mine.
correct. Correct. And, the video was not about Michael's crime. The video was about our relationship. And people
Yes.
missed the mark on that completely.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can see how angry they got about him. He's a psychopath, and all this stuff. But I will say, I'm going to end it on a good note. I wanted to thank all of you, Paige, especially, and all of the people in our community in Love Within Walls, or people that just know me and Michael personally, or have seen us in our relationship over the last 9 years, comment and stick up for us, and just comment even just nice things. People were like, "Oh wow, go Gigi," or "I love that you shared this. This is beautiful." I I wanted to thank you guys because I mean, you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to say anything, but or talk to the crazy people, as I call them. But I appreciate it. I really do. And those people don't bother me. I've grown thick. Thankfully, doing this pod, I've grown very thick skinned to where, I mean, I wouldn't be lying if I say it didn't affect me. Of course, it affects me, but I've learned to let it roll off my back and just keep living my life, because these people aren't paying my bills. These people aren't, contributing to anything in my life. So, nor do they even know me. So their opinions are neither desired nor required. So, but I do want to say thank you to you, Paige, especially because you had my back from the jump.
Of course.
Soon as the first negative comment came in, you were there. So
I
that
wish
means
they
a
would
lot
invite
to me.
I wish they would invite me. I'm
I
like,
know,
I got
and
a
I'm
lot
the
of
same
anger.
way. Like when you told me yesterday about how people were commenting about Joe, I was ready. Like, take him out. I'm ready. Like I'm like, I just glad that we have each other's backs, and then this community has each other's backs too. That says, like you said, that says so much. So
It's crazy when a video like that, all of the hate and crude comments are coming from people that are attacking you, and all of the other comments that are just sweet and like supportive and kind are all of us crazy ones who are
yeah,
prison wives or
yeah. All the people like, we go to church every Sunday, and then they're sitting here praising Jesus on Sunday and ripping me a new asshole on the next day. And then the people that showed empathy, compassion, and love and grace were the prison wives.
I love the one woman that was like, how is she supporting women, blah blah blah, and I go, no, you don't get to create the scale of when you can support women versus when you don't, and why does not supporting Gigi not count as not supporting women? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
I can't.
And listen, I mean, I understand people don't always agree, that like people may not like my relationship, and that's fine. That's your opinion. That's fine. But there's a difference between voicing an opinion
Yes.
and just being straight up ugly, mean, hateful, and cruel. And sadly, on Facebook, all the crazy boomer Karens were out and about that day.
They always are. It's just Facebook is the worst place for like
Yeah.
those kinds of people, other than TikTok, because TikTok is where people get bold because they think that they're anonymous. But
Yeah.
on Facebook, those boomers sometimes they say it with their whole chest, and they have their whole job and their city and everything publicly on Facebook. Like,
Yeah.
okay, well then.
Yeah. That's why, I mean, I just said, my love is still here. I'm still loving. I'm still living, and I'm still happy. Your hateful stuff is going to be on the internet for everybody to see. So, but thanks again, you guys. I love you. It means so much to me that you guys supported us through this, and we'll see what happens in the future. But can I say, like, I had a bunch of other opportunities to do more interviews, and I said no, this is enough. Because it's not worth the headache, like it's worth giving Michael's story out there and getting people, but clearly if it's on Facebook, I don't want anything to do with it.
It sucks because it's hard, because it's like you cannot care, because I don't care when things like that happen, but it's hard to like, I feel like, put it to the side and not think about it, because like when those things happen, I feel like I read it and it like flows through my whole body, and I feel my whole body getting hot, and then I get really worked up. Yes, and I'm like, I can't even figure out what I'm trying to say in the phone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, and that's what they want. You know what I mean? They want to trigger.
Yeah, clearly. So I'm not giving them my energy anymore, for sure.
Period.
Well, thank you guys, and welcome to Love with the Malls, or a Prison Wife podcast. This is Gigi here, and I'm here with the beautiful,
your friendly host, Paige. Hello.
Yes, Queen. And this is episode 59. We are one away from 60, the big 60. Can't believe it. We're here. A year and a half, or almost a year and a half later. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But before we get started on episode 59, let's give a shout out to Beyond Bars Imaging. Paige is taking your summer vacation, summer wedding, 4th of July, whatever you would like type photos. She has done an amazing job taking pictures, merging pictures. If you don't get visit pictures, or anything you want to create, she can make it happen. If you have a pet, she can put that pet in as well. So reach out to a girl on Beyond Bars Imaging on Instagrams or Facebooks. That's right. I got to get it straight. You can see her work on Tiki Tacs as well, but the best place to reach out to her is the grams. Y'all slide into those DMs, please. Beyond Bars Imaging. All right. Are we ready to get this party started?
Abso-effing-lutely.
All right. That's the best answer. All right, here we go. Boom, boom, boom. What up with that? What up with that? All right, it's time for What Up With That legislation. Paige, what do you have?
I have 4 short talking points, but the first one, I bet that you probably have this too. Todd and Julie Chrisley pardoned by Trump and released from prison.
Yeah, among many other.
Yes, there were a few other names people. Like YNB. There were like a bunch of people. On May 27th, former President Donald Trump, former current President Donald Trump, granted full pardons to reality TV stars Todd and Chrisley, who have been serving 12 and 7-year sentences, respectively, for bank fraud and tax evasion. Their daughter, Savannah Chrisley, played a significant role in advocating for the release, including speaking at the 2024 Republican National Convention. Following the release, the Chrisleys reunited after 2 years apart and plan to return to television with a new reality series documenting their legal ordeal and release.
Okay.
I know that everyone is, especially the people that are going to listen to us. There's probably going to be mixed feelings. It's a mixed bag.
Yeah,
obviously. We empathize too. You know what I mean? Our honeys are in prison too. So like, it's hard sometimes to watch people that have notoriety get what seems to be preferential treatment. But I'm just going to say to everyone, try to take it as a good thing. I know that it's really hard, but him even coming out and doing that press conference that he did, talking about all of the horrible things going on inside there and how the young African American men were just not subjected to the things that he was able to get, and how he witnessed all of the injustice. And if he wants to go ahead and bring light to that, that's amazing. And unfortunately, whatever happened with their crime, I'm not going to lie, I have no idea. I don't know anything about it. So I am naive to that. But the fact that they are out and he is literally saying with his full chest that there are these problems there and that he wants to bring light to them and he is not going to forget those people that he met inside, that's the best case scenario here, guys. Honestly.
Yeah, and he was very honest and very bold in his statements at that press conference when he said, like, I'm going to fight for the people that are behind, because, you know, I was able to get the things that were important, the programming, the, you know, the classes, all of the things that I was able to do because I look the way I do. But there are young African American men who are were serving less time than me, that had maybe not as, you know, maybe same amount of time as me, and they weren't able to get the same access to that programming because of the color of their skin. And he even made a point to say, if you think the justice system is just, you are sorely mistaken. I'm paraphrasing, but he said, you know, it's not. I used to believe, like, basically the justice system was great, and then I was part of it. I was in that. I was, you know, part of that process, and now I see why when people say it's broken, I believe it. You know,
I completely and totally agree, and I think, like, him pointing out all of the racial disparities and saying that he plans to return to television to specifically point out that impact. I mean, at this time, that's what we need right now. We need all eyes on the issues inside. And if that's going to be one thing that brings someone's attention to it who wouldn't have paid attention beforehand or didn't care, like, think about all the people that watch them and follow them that could care less or think so little of prisons and people in prisons. Like, you know, that could open up their eyes and that could bring a big change to a lot of different areas. So I'm going to try to be hopeful about it.
Yeah, me too. I feel the same way. I do feel like, you know, those with the capital get out of the punishments, and those without capital get the punishments. But I hope that these people and his pardon czar was pardoned in his
She's an amazing woman.
She is an amazing woman. So I'm hoping that by her working with President Trump, that this can bring about more change and more reform. I know that's, for me, it's a hard thing to think about, but it's also, if she's working with President Trump, I feel a little bit better, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and she is. There's a lot of people that I follow, a lot of people within, like, the cannabis space that are incarcerated federally, and there's a lot of them. A few of them are even on that list that just popped out, and from what I know, it sounds like he's working towards getting some of those cannabis people out, especially, like, you know, Edwin Rubin and people like that who should not be behind bars. So, you know, I can't stand the man, don't care for him, but if he's going to do anything good and it's going to be because of his impact in this justice system, thank you.
Yeah. I'm going to celebrate anybody coming out of prison. I always do.
Oh, yeah.
And anybody getting an opportunity, a second chance.
You have to.
So, and I know it's hard when we see people that have a lot of money and wealth and, you know, probably make political promises to help get their family out. I mean, I would do the same, to be honest. If I was able to do that, you got to put yourself in those shoes. Like, if you were given the opportunity to quote unquote bend the knee to save your loved one, would you not?
And that's
I would.
Those were her parents, so you know what I mean. Like, I get it. I get it.
So I understand. I mean, and then, like I said, I think hopefully, I know there's more to come, and the fact that he's not doing it in a traditional way. I was listening. Believe me, my brother watched Fox News, which is not my favorite. Okay, but it brought up a great point that he's doing this very unconventionally, because most presidents wait till their exit of office to
Yeah.
do this. So I'm thinking if he's getting started early, there's probably more coming down the road.
That's what I've heard. That's
Yeah.
what I've heard. So, I mean, hopefully.
Yeah.
I have part of another
Go
federal
ahead.
topic to before we hop off the federal train. The Federal Bureau of Prisons expands home confinement eligibility. On May 28th, so just a few days ago, the Federal Bureau of Prisons (BOP) announced new guidance to expand the use of home confinement in eligible individuals under the First Step Act and the Second Chance Act. This policy aims to allow more incarcerated individuals, particularly those who do not require transitional services, to serve the remainder of their sentences at home. The potential benefit for home confinement and reducing the prison overcrowding and within our prison system is a huge benefit. Having people serve sentences at home where they are not, surrounded by possible triggers or other things is amazing and ideal. And the role of legislative acts like the First Step Act is really, I think, important in shaping the correctional policies throughout the states. Like, doing this at a federal level is amazing.
Yes.
And I can't believe he's doing it.
I know. Hey, who would have thunk it? You know what I mean? I'm happy for it. I'm happy to see it. I think, his big thing is getting rid of excessive spending.
Yeah.
And we know that the prison, enterprise system, state, federal, all of it costs almost 800, is it billion? 800 million, 800 billion. It's one of those. A lot of money, okay? We spend a lot of money on incarcerating people. So if we can start, he's obviously starting from the bottom, the least, the ones that really don't need a transitional thing that might have minimal sentencing. And then hopefully it works its way up. That's we got to start somewhere, right?
And, I'll give him this. This is one thing that he promised, because his whole First Step Act, like, all of that was working and it worked.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's following through on this right now, I don't, you know how I feel about the man, but I'll give him credit for pushing this along and letting this happen, although the world is in chaos. But thank you for this.
Yeah. A little nugget of hope
you go.
in all the chaos.
There you go. I said it.
I can't believe it.
Right?
But we're here. And we'll give props where props are due,
Yeah,
no matter
I'll
who
give
it
him-
is. Like, that just says to us, like, clearly we're here not for political reasons. We're here to promote and educate people on, being a prison wife in the prison system. And when good things happen, we're going to applaud it. When bad things happen, we're going to call it out.
Like we said in the beginning, I don't care. I don't Republican, Democrat. I don't give a fuck. Pony, dog, rhino, elephant. Like, as long as you are a good person and you want to actually make an impact and change this system, I'm all for you.
Amen. Amen. We ride at dawn. Okay, you have another one, because you took mine, but that's okay. I will
do.
comment. I will comment. So that we had all the juicy ones.
We did. This is actually, I guess, kind of on the piggyback of that too. The bipartisan support grows for the Clean Slate and Fresh Start Acts. Momentum is building within Congress for the Clean Slate Act and the Fresh Start Act, both of which have bipartisan support. So we have support on both sides, which is amazing. The Clean Slate Act proposes automatically sealing federal records of individuals convicted of low-level nonviolent offenses after they have completed their sentences. The Fresh Start Act aims to provide federal grants to states to support the automation of record sealing processes. The impact of record sealing and expungement on employment and housing opportunities alone, y'all, like, that is huge. Like, that is one of the biggest things that these people run into. If you meet them, they can't get housing, they can't get, employment because of this. And small things like this will change their lives completely.
And I was gonna say, if you have resources to help somebody coming out of prison, they are less likely to reoffend or get caught up back into that lifestyle. You know what I mean? So by helping someone coming out and returning to society, you in turn are helping the community. You know what I mean?
And honestly, all of the bipartisan support for any kind of advance in criminal justice reform is amazing.
Amen.
So let's
Amen.
go. I have one more. Then I'm done. Then I'll
No, you're
STF
good.
you
Keep
out.
going. I'm loving this. We got good news
I
today.
know, right? It's actually like good ones. Illinois implements the Safe Tea Act reforms. Illinois has begun implementing reforms under the Safe Tea Act, including the elimination of cash bail and changes to sentencing and prison policies. The act also increases support for pregnant prisoners, expands sentence credits for participation in programs, and allows certain offenses to be treated as misdemeanors for diversion purposes. The implications of eliminating cash bail on pretrial and detention is huge and
Yeah.
is big for public safety alone.
Amen.
So that's amazing. And the act in itself, it's crazy that we have to create acts to protect women who are pregnant when they're in prison and stuff, in my opinion, like even just hearing that. But like, hey, we'll take it. Any kind of positive reform, like, let's go. Like, if anything, I feel like all of these stories kind of reflect an ongoing effort from our system right now to address issues in sentencing and rehabilitation and reintegration. It's kind of hopeful as the world is burning around us. So, like, it's like I'll take the good with the bad, I guess.
Yeah, there are there's some glimmers out there, y'all.
Yeah.
And I think, looking at the whole thing with bail reform, I know some people are very much against it, but you don't understand if you come from a family of low socioeconomic status and you can't afford bail, you're stuck. You're stuck there.
I mean, and how many times is bail weaponized for that reason?
Yeah.
We know that.
Yep.
And we know who it's weaponized against. So
Correct. Yep. So good job, Illinois. Congratulations. Hopefully this bill, you said it was moving forward, or
they've begun implementing.
okay.
So I believe that it passed
So
and
it is
everything, so
passed.
they're rolling
Okay.
it out.
Nice. Good job putting it into action, friends.
Hey, Illinois.
We see
Go
you.
off, girl. Bend and snap. Let's go. Like, all right.
And snap. Okay. Nice.
Illinois said bend and safety.
All right. Well, moving on to our tweets. We got some sweet tweets, and boy, I mean, obviously, I'm not showcasing the people on Facebook, but we did get some mean tweets as well. So let's talk about our tweety tweets here. All right. So should I start with the bad or the good, Paige?
Hit us with some bad, since we just had so
Okay.
much good.
Cool. Got it. All right. Well, as you can probably, if you go to our last week's video, we had a diva in the house. Juan Pablo came through, and him and I had a very crazy discourse on our YouTubes. He says, "Nice, another channel for delusional women."
Let's go. Did he add us to a playlist?
I sure hope he
Me
did.
too.
I want to impact his life
Can
completely.
we follow the other baddies on that playlist?
I know, right?
Like, can you refer me to them? Like,
I responded to him saying, "Thank you for your opinion. It's as useful as a screen door on a submarine." Then he came back with, "Or as your brain."
oh,
And
he
I
thought hard
said,
about that one.
"I know." And then I said, "Your opinion of my brain is noted right next to the opinions of squirrels and malfunctioning toasters." So thanks, Juan Pablo, for your amazing insight, honeys.
Yeah, you definitely fucked us up.
You ate, honeys.
What the hell?
All right. The next one comes from, is actually a sweet tweet that I wanted to share that you actually shared with me, Paige. And I think this was from the Scene TV. This is from Megs. She said, "It's so weird. This is exactly what I did as well, except it was in Texas where I wrote to, and I'm from New York, and we are still hanging on. You inspire me." So, Megs, thank you so much for saying that. And if you need anything, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're here for you to support you. And thank you for leaving a sweet comment.
Yeah,
I
girl.
really, really appreciate it.
Join our group if you haven't joined yet.
Please, we would love to have you, honeys. So those were some of our tweets. Did you have any tweets that you wanted to share, Paige? Or
Not specifically. I feel like I get so many really great ones, but we had one guy that commented on our TikTok, and we can't find it now because he blocked us. He commented something really dumb on our TikTok that was like talking bad about us, but he did it from his public carpeting account, like business account. So I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Good job. So then I click on that. Oh, he's live. I'm like, you're live. I want to come visit. I want to come talk.
I visited too.
So we just like charged. There was like 5 of us that go in there, and I'm just like, what's up? And I wasn't even rude. I was just like, I want to talk about the rude comment that you left. No, like, let's have this discourse. And I don't know if something is wrong with this man or what, but I think he thought we were someone else. He was like, these are all friends of Jennifer's Wife podcast. Oh yeah, and then he just started blocking all of us, and he was like, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, why the heck why do I not get to come back and say things?
Yes.
Why do you get to comment on rude things on our post? And I'm not even being rude back. I'm just trying to have discourse and connect with you because you're live. So I'm like, I want to talk with you now, and you don't want to talk now?
And he was live like right after he left that comment.
He did,
like,
and then that's
literally within like 5 minutes.
I think he was really confused. He's probably like, how the fuck?
Yeah. Welcome to TikTok, boo.
Yeah. Shout out to whatever. I probably have a screenshot somewhere of it.
Yeah, he said something about what was it? Like it was something about filling a void.
That's right.
That's what it was.
Something about filling void. And then yes, because then I had one of his random watchers follow me to my page and comment something on one of my videos. And I literally had to reply and say, listen, I could honestly care less. It was just funny at the moment. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know who this is. It's some weirdo. We were laughing at him. All right. That's it.
Done. Yeah. Don't listen. People can clap back on TikTok for real.
Yeah, don't be surprised when they do.
I can't stand the people that sit here and make hateful comments, and then when you clap back, they're like,
yes.
"Oh my god!"
Yes. They're like
nasty.
How could you? They're like,
oh yeah, it's like gaslighting.
Evil.
Like, yeah, no, I ain't falling for your gaslighting shit, boo. Sorry, gaslight somebody else. That might work on somebody else, but it ain't gonna work on me.
Busy.
If you come hard, I'm coming hard right back. Just saying. Period. Anyway. So, all right. Well, let's talk. Do you have new nails this week, Paige? Our third podcast
I think I
host.
actually have the same ones because we did this on Monday.
Oh, okay.
But look how cute my rings are.
Your rings are gorgeous. She's blanging. Dang. How many? Count how many you've got total, please.
On right now?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Oh.
But they're
she
so
came
cute.
to bling.
But they're so cute.
I have 4. So look, we're both like one time I'm gonna have one on every finger next week.
Period.
Watch.
I love it. I love it. These are this princess one is my favorite.
It's beautiful. I really like the stack one that you had.
Yes, I love that. Oh my gosh, obsessed.
That's beautiful. That's stunning.
I need all of it.
All right. Well, let's get into our main topic. We are going to be talking about family.
Yay.
And obviously kind of like talking about how your family might react if you share your relationship to them and coming out to your family.
Like, obviously all of our relationships, y'all, are some people can take them and take it in and be like, oh, okay, yeah, that's what it is. And then other people, when you tell them, will look at you like you have like 7 heads, There's like people that are accepting of it, and there's people that aren't ever going to be accepting of it. And then there are people that, you can kind of talk to, and maybe they'll get on board with it. And then unfortunately, sometimes those people are your family or your friends or your best friends. And it's really hard, I think, and it's one of the things that we talk about it, but we don't talk about it too much. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to kind of have a whole episode that's about when the family, friends, and people that are your like support system around don't approve of your relationship.
Amen. How to handle the roadblocks.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. So the first part we said is, you know, obviously talking about the different reactions that can be just curious reactions or cruel reactions, as we know can happen from being in a prison relationship or being a prison wife or a prison girlfriend. Do you want to go over the three types of people that you could encounter?
Yeah.
Okay.
The three subcategories that we had for like the different kind of reactions. Now, keep in mind, y'all, that there are more than three. Obviously, people can react in any kind of way that they want and do thousands of different responses because humans are unpredictable. But we tried to kind of, keep it into three. The first one is the curious but cautious one. That's someone who is listening, tuned in. They aren't really understanding, but they are trying. Like they love you, they get you, and they know that you wouldn't be in this relationship unless you were 110% about it. So they're trying to fully get on board, but not quite there.
And just know that this group of people may be those curious people that don't ask the right way to ask questions. Like they may ask you very intrusive questions or, be focus on his crime. You kind of have to navigate and steer them more towards like the things that he's, yes, this was in the past, but this is present and here's what he's doing now. Or, this is where you can establish some boundaries saying, like, look, I'm glad that you're asking these questions, but they are a little intrusive and I don't feel comfortable answering them. Or, if you feel comfortable answering them, answer them but highlight the good parts and not so much try to navigate away from that negative curiosity, if that makes sense.
The next type that we created was the deniers. That's the nicest way to put them. Those are going to be the people that pretend your love is a phase or don't talk to you about it at all after you first mention it to them because they fear if they talk to you about it, it makes it more real. Or like the people that are like, oh, you'll grow out of that. That I feel like a lot of times that was the reaction I got.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, people, I think that was their way of trying to be nice to me, like trying to compliment, like trying to say they heard me, but also let me know that they totally think that this is dumb and I'll grow out of it.
Like it's just a phase she's going
Yeah.
through. Like I think my parents thought that honestly that this was a phase I was going through because of my divorce at the time. But, my mom had made that comment, 7 years after I started writing Michael, that she realized she thought it was a phase, but she realized clearly you do love this man. If you were doing all this, you truly love this man. So, yeah.
It's true. And the last of the three types that we have is the judgmental. Immediately making it about the crime, making it about the person that they were when that crime happened. They bring back all the shame that you might have been doing your best to fight off and, the stuff that we handle online. That it's not common that they're going to be like that, but the people that are very strong in their own thoughts and opinions are going to be like that to your face.
Correct.
They exist. They're not just online.
Yeah. And the judgmental people will give you this is what I got on Facebook. Well, what about the victims? What are you feeling? What do you think about the victims and all this stuff? And it's like, y'all, I think about the victims. Michael's crime impacts the victims. It impacts me. It impacts his family. It impacts a lot of people. And I think about the victims. You have to say that. Like, yes, I think about them, but that's not why I'm with him. No,
I think you're a human. You have to think about the victims. Like, what I mean? I think about beyond the victims of Joseph's crime. I think about all of the people impacted by his crime, and I think about them often. So, to ever have someone come at my direction and be like, Oh, what about them? Like I grieve for those people all the time, and I think about, it's so unfortunate that all of these things happened, and but they did, and there's no pretending that they didn't. So it's like, do you either want someone to take accountability or grow, or do you actually just want to throw them in that cage and be like, go away and don't come out?
Yeah.
Because how's that better for the victims?
Yeah.
You know?
Not changing and not growing and not doing things to make the world a better place.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
anyway, with all of these different personality types, these are just the ones that we're talking about. We're not talking about the ones that are obviously going to take you in with full arms and be accepting, because if you have people like that, that's awesome. But you
Amen.
don't really you don't really need talking to, because
Yeah.
you've got it. They are there for you. You know what I mean? So we kind of tried to keep it at these groups. And we want to talk about, how to respond to some of these. So even if it's going to be me and Gigi right now, she doesn't even know it. Even if it's going to be her and I role playing right here or something,
Ooh, I love a good role
we're
play.
going to show you guys all of these and how to deal with that. Okay?
We're role playing.
Yeah. So we can do like role play. So do you want to be what do you want to be?
Oh, what's my options?
Let's do the curious but cautious. Either you can be the prison wife, or
Okay.
the family member friend.
Do you have a preference?
I don't care.
Just it doesn't matter to me either. Throw something
Okay.
at me. I work better under.
I'll be the friend.
Okay. I'm the prison wife.
Okay. Hey, who's that guy that you've been posting photos of recently?
That's a man that I met and I've been talking to, and just getting to know.
That's interesting. Why are they cropped all different? And
Well, you're my friend, so I'm gonna be honest with you, and I want you just to try to keep an open mind. He is incarcerated.
oh, Gigi, what?
Well, I mean, he's a person, and we really have, formed a bond, and we have some chemistry, and I'd like to see, where this goes.
Oh, but not forever, right?
I'm not gonna put.
Oh, oops, I'm
time-
going into the wrong foot, because isn't
Oh,
that's the next one? That's a denier. Oops. I'm combining them all into one horrible.
You're gonna be
person.
all like a trifecta force.
Yeah. I'm trying to understand what you're saying, but I just don't. What?
It's okay if you don't understand. This is my choice, and I see something in him, and I want to pursue this relationship. And, yes, maybe in the past he's made some very terrible decisions, but he's done a lot since he's been in there. And he's done a lot of educational programming and rehabilitative programming. And he's an artist, and he does a lot of interesting things and we have a lot of things in common.
Okay. Well, I mean, it sounds like you're really happy. I'm trying to get it, but I mean, he's not the same person that did that.
He committed a crime when he was younger, but
hurt you. He's
I'm sorry?
definitely gonna hurt you then.
I don't think so. But I'm sorry you feel that way. I mean,
I just care about you.
I understand, and I know this is coming from a place of caring, and I appreciate that in our friendship and I appreciate that about you, but I don't think he is the same person that he is now at his age that he was when he was a lot younger. And
I am. I'm the same person I was when I was 21. It's like, how do these people, how does it keep going? You know what I mean? I'm like, how do these people feel dumb?
if you're still the same as you were when you were 21, I'm a little scared now, and you shouldn't be passing judgment. That's what I would say.
Literally, what? So that, it's just I don't know how people in that position, being the family member, don't you even just pushing back as a joke on you, it just feels like it's not my place to say anything. You know what I mean? Ooh, I feel like that's more of a family one usually, at least for me.
Or a very close friend, like your best friend,
Yeah, just being oh,
no.
Should we role play either the deniers or the judgmental?
I love let's do some judgmental.
Okay, I'll be the prison wife for judgmental. You can be the mean.
Okay. So I saw your TikTok. What's up with that, Paige?
What part?
The guy that you have looks like a prison visit. What is that?
Well, it looks like a prison visit because it is. What do you mean?
Why are you visiting a man in prison? That's scary. Aren't you
Listen,
scared?
the first time I visited a prison, I was scared. I'm not gonna lie. That was scary. I've never been there before, but that man, I would walk through fire for. So yeah, I went into a prison and I visited him.
But he's a criminal. He's a bad person. He's locked away for a reason, Paige.
He did do a very bad thing years ago, but he is incarcerated now and doing everything he can to make amends.
Are you desperate? Are you that desperate for a date?
It depends on the day.
I love you.
Just like what the fuck?
It's so hard to be judgmental about it. Jeez,
I know.
wow.
It's like
This is
these
hard.
people. It's like
To be an asshole is really hard. Wow.
especially when someone is just like being like calm and like not defensive, because that's the one thing that we have written down here is like you can respond with boundaries and not just be defensive, because if you are just defensive, they're going to
Pounce.
pound and they're gonna think that they're more right too, because they're like, oh, see, she's defensive now because she knows that I'm onto something. But it's like, actually, they're half the time they're probably just triggering us because we're hearing this all the time, and now we're hearing it from another friend or a family member, and it's like, great, now I have to get my fighting gloves on again. And
I realized what I should have said. So you can't find a guy out here? What's wrong with you? You know, like that's the thing that we constantly get.
how are you gonna have sex?
He's not providing for you. Oh my God.
Is he gonna
You
like
need a
it's like
man to provide for you.
I've never had so many people worried about my financial situation that I didn't even know. Like, oh,
I know. Like I wanted to tell one woman, like she was like, how is he going to provide for you? And I'm like,
yes. Why are you worried about it, babe?
babe, I got a house, I got a car, I got my own house, I got my own car, 2 jobs, work hard. You a bad broad. I'm an INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means? Like I'm independent. I don't need a man to take care of me.
No, didn't before, don't now. I don't need a man to pay for me to do things, which is why it makes no difference that my husband is incarcerated or not, because I take care of me.
Correct. Yeah. I pay for my vacations.
Thanks for caring, I
pay for
guess.
yeah. Like if you can't live without a man and you can't function without a man, I'm questioning things. I'm going to be judgy for a second. You know what I mean?
Literally. If anything, I feel bad for you because you clearly have a lot of things to learn, and the year is 2025, and anyone can go to prison, clearly.
Yep. Anybody can get picked up.
So you better hope it's not yours. And guess what? I'm so tired of people saying to us, like, you know, what happened if your son, for example, me all the time, is a victim of a crime. And I'm like, okay, and what if your son was a perpetrator and then is in prison forever?
Yeah.
Why can't we throw that back at them and they can actually they don't ever, you know what I mean? It's just crazy. Yeah. The double standards. It's
Yep.
The second or third part, I guess. We wanted to talk about how to tell your friends and family about the relationship, especially if you know that they have one of these 3 character types, and how to handle it and how to know when to say it, because that's not exactly the best. It's not exactly the best idea to drop the ball, but I can tell you one of the ways I told someone was like that.
Just straight up.
Yeah, like just dropping the ball and being like, hey, this is what this is, and I'm going out there and,
okay,
you know, I'm doing this now in X days, and I already bought my flight, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah. I'm not going back. And, you know, I think it's kind of knowing your relationship with the person, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And just like feeling it out and remembering that you're the person that has to deal with everyone's reactions, and having to be the one that processes everyone's reactions is really exhausting. And like, you know, you don't want to tell everyone at the same time because they might all have heavy responses. And then you are the one left having to hold all of that and deal with it. And like, worst case scenario, everyone in your life is against this. And you're already at a spot where then you now have to sit with that. And then also find comfort in your loved one and be like, hey, by the way, everyone hates you and hates this. Okay.
And hates that I'm with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I would say, I don't know if there's ever a right time, but if you feel like I've been in a scenario, most of the people that know about me and Michael have found out.
Same.
But when I started talking to Michael and we started getting more into the girlfriend, boyfriend, I came straight, like the first person I told was my best friend. And, she was very supportive. She was a little, like, I don't know, I just want you to be happy, but I don't know. And maybe she even thought like this was a phase for me too. I'm sure she did at some point, but she's been my ride or die for 9 years, like knowing about this and supporting me and saying, this is your decision. Like, I obviously want you to be happy and I want you to have a beautiful life. And, I don't know if this is it, but if this is what your choice is, I support you, So.
I love that. I feel like because of the defensiveness of our portion of this conversation, it is the best option to lead with, it's not about whatever they were sentenced to in their prison sentence. It's about the person that is there.
Correct.
And, feeling out that conversation before you step into it with someone. And if it's someone that, has like strong Christian beliefs and they are not even Christian beliefs, but they're very like, against like, anyone incarcerated thinks that people are incarcerated are just bad people, like a blanket, like being like, okay, I know that this is going to challenge your beliefs, but I'm open to a conversation as long as we can keep it respectful. Like, going into that and just trying to like keep it leveled before it could even get to like an escalated part, or they could say something that would offend you or vice versa.
I love that. Setting the parameters, setting the expectations of the conversation before you even dive into it. Like, I'm coming to you because I love you and I want you to know about my life. But, I want to have a conversation. I know you have some strong feelings. And if this is something we can't agree on, let's just agree to disagree and move on to the next thing.
Yeah. And I hope that you can see me and see the happiness and wholeness that this person brings to my life. And, and that's what I love about our podcast. What I said when we originally made it is that there's been so many people who have found out about me and Joseph from this podcast that didn't even know before. And it's so funny because when they find out, they're like, wait, what the hell? And then they find out that we've been together for 4.5 years. And they're like, wait, what? And I'm like, yes. So does that change what you think now? Because I feel like a lot of the times when people find out, it's like right away. So they're like, okay, well, we can like split this. But then when you find out about my heavy, very serious relationship that's been going on for like X amount of time, it's like, it's a little bit harder for them, I think, to discredit it because it's like,
I'm still me.
Like, I'm still me, and you've still been a part of my life, and you've had no idea, you know? So
nothing's changed,
Exactly.
That's how like a lot of people at my work know about, Michael now because of the podcast.
Yep, same.
And it's like I don't talk about Michael at work anyway. So it's like I'm still coming to work every day and I'm still being me and I'm still being, who I am. Nothing's changing. It's just when I go home, I talk to somebody and he happens to be incarcerated. That's it.
I have some people at work who, after they found out, they'll like ask curiosity questions, but like people that didn't know and only found out because of the podcast, like they don't really like think differently of me now. And it's honestly kind of awesome because like that would have been my whole goal the whole time. But realistically, I think the whole shock factor that comes with this life kind of will override anything.
Yeah. Amen. Yep, it sure will.
Do we want to touch on what to do when you don't have support?
Yes.
There's all kinds of things that you can do when you don't have support. And I think the biggest one, I'm going to circle right back to us and say, love within walls. Hi.
Yes.
Seriously, guys, we have a Facebook group. Join us.
Yeah.
Come here. This is your safe place. This is your this is your area to come and trauma dump. You can trauma dump as an anonymous person if you want, and you are safe. And that is a safe area where, we do everything we can to keep out any weirdos or anyone that isn't actually having an incarcerated loved one, and make that a safe space for us to cope and grief and bitch and whatever we want to
Celebrate.
do.
Yeah,
Because
all of it. We do all of it.
we're all allowed to do that, and we should have a safe space to do that. So please come to our group if y'all haven't yet.
Yes, please join Love Within Walls. We're here. We have an amazing group of women and men to help support you along this journey and listening to the pod, interacting with the pod, podcast communities. There's nonprofits that can also help as well. But, like we always say, nobody's going to understand what you're going through like another prison wife. Because nobody gets it unless they've been impacted. They're justice impacted. You know what I mean?
And that's why we made the group, because there's a lot, and anyone who's a prison wife knows there's a lot of Facebook groups on Facebook that are for prison wives or people with incarcerated loved ones. And I think we wanted to make a space that was not only private, but was not only for a certain prison or only, no negativeness was allowed, because a lot of these prison life groups, you'll probably figure out that they do allow people to talk shit or things like that, or you can't feel safe posting your loved one, which never do unless you feel comfortable with, because there are crazy people. I don't know. I think that space is really important. So
absolutely. And once you find it, I swear, like once you find your place, your support system and your group, I mean, I just think, Paige, of the beautiful moments that we see women in our group come together and form really good friendships with each other.
I love it.
Like, we were part of that. Like, we helped bring people together. Like, even if you don't want to post in the group and you just talk to a few people here and there and you get to know some people. And we have now like groups of prison wives that are like best friends, like how awesome is that,
And they found like community
Yeah.
through our little group.
Love it. Sorry. A little happy moment.
What about the people who have to deal with being emotionally cut off by family or friends?
Like almost like disowned.
Yeah. Like they find out you're with someone incarcerated, they're like, leave them, and you're like, no, and then they're like, all right, bye. I don't want you in my life. How do those people, what's our advice for them?
If someone cuts you off, I think you have to, obviously they're setting up a boundary. And even though it's probably not the best boundary, I think you have to respect that and just keep doing what you're doing. And, yes, there's probably going to be a grieving process with that, and it probably hurts and it stings. But if this is truly what you want, you have to show people that this is real. This is something that you believe in, and this is a person that is your partner, and you're not just giving it up because so-and-so doesn't like it. For a long time, I wasn't allowed to talk about Michael at all around my parents.
Yeah.
And so not that they ever cut me off, but there was a point where my mom did not speak to me for 2 weeks. And that was a long 2 weeks for me because if my mom and I talk every day. So, she had to work through it. Now, granted, she struggled with it for a while. And, over time, I think if the people see you that you're serious about this and they are your your family and your best friends, they love you no matter what you do. And, even if they don't agree with your choice, I don't agree with all the girls, the guys that my girlfriends go out with. Sometimes I'm like, why are you doing that? But, that's their choice. Like, I respect that. If that makes them happy, let them go do what they want to do, So, and they're not hurting anybody. It's not like you're hurting anybody. So, I think you have to give them that space and just keep showing that you're here and you're doing and you're happy and you're living your life. And eventually maybe they'll be like, well, the wall will come down.
I feel like a lot of them, their initial reaction acting like that and wanting to cut you off is their defense mechanism of pushing you away and hoping that you aren't serious about your relationship and you'll kind of just drop it maybe. And it's like, I think sometimes it takes them trying that and realizing that you're like okay, well, this is like my person. I'm not leaving them, for them to like
Mhm.
walk away from it. And like that's when I lean back, okay, start journaling all your feelings, you know what I mean? Go to therapy if you need to go to therapy. Talk to someone that gets it within groups, you know what I mean? Do
Mhm.
things like that, get it out and don't keep it all inside, whether it's prayer or, anything like that. Creative outlet, paint, draw, take
And I was going to
photos.
say, seeking out, if you're not like, if you're interested in church or you go to church or you have a church community and, your church community is like accepting, most of them are, most, church communities are accepting. So I think, that's a place to find support. That's a place to find love and nourishment. If you feel like if your family has cut you off,
I When we close this off, I want to say to everyone, I know we always say for people to call in, but I really want people to call in or comment below
Mhm.
and share any stories you guys have of how you've handled any kind of like rejection from family or friends, or any kind of love like situation where someone didn't handle it how you thought they would and how you handled it, and maybe any quotes or things that you use to get through accepting those
Yeah.
times, because things like that, could easily help someone else. So posting it down below or sharing it on Speaky Pipe literally could change someone's day. And
Yeah.
the last thing that we have here is just so everyone knows, not everyone will understand your love story, and that's okay because it was not written for them.
Yeah.
What matters is that you know its worth and you know the worth of your loved one. And
Yeah.
that's, at the end of the day, you're going to go to bed and think about that. And so are they.
Yeah. And listen, I'm going to say this because one of the notes is that you do not need constant validation
Mm-mm.
about your relationship. Your validation should come from your truth and speaking your truth and living in your truth. And if your truth is, I love this person is somebody that I see myself with for a long time, even during incarceration and after, that's that should be your validation. You don't need validation from other people at the end of the day. I mean, validation is nice, yes, but it's also important for you to be able to stand on your own 2 feet and stand your ground and say, okay, so what? You say I'm desperate. You say I'm this. You cut me off. Okay, bye. I'm here and I'm doing this.
I'm,
You know?
I'm, I'm going to throw in one last thing that might be a hot take of mine. I don't know.
Okay.
I just want to say to everyone who has like a loved one who isn't accepting of their relationship, if they ever, cut you off or go away, and something happens later in life where they are becoming more understanding and more understanding of second chances in the system, and or just want to accept you and everything, like you have to be able to reconnect and accept them and
Yes.
bring them in, because that is what this is all about, guys. Like second chances is not just about like our loved ones, it's about everyone, and it's about bringing everyone in. Like just because someone was a hater one time doesn't mean that we have to keep them in that bubble of being a hater for the rest of their life. People can change.
Yeah. I mean, look at my mom.
Yeah.
She's completely changed. She was somebody that hated Michael, that called him a murderer, that called him all kind of names. And, we had that breakthrough in the car on the way home from a trip. And, she said, I pray to God for understanding, that I understand why you do this, and now she's like, speak your truth. Like you're doing wonderful things. You have, you're doing amazing things out there. So,
I love that.
and she, I think she understands how much I love him and how much he loves me and how much we mean to each other. So you have to, I love that you brought this up, Paige, because, we can get so hurt and hardened by what people say. And it's important to remember that we're all human. We all say things. I say
We
things
all
when
do.
I'm heated, and so it's important to keep that grace and keep that open mind and open heart. And when someone says, okay, look, I'll admit it. First, I wasn't for it, but I see that you really love this person, and
Like,
this
tell me
person
more
really
about
loves
him.
you.
Like,
Yeah, like you have to open your heart up to them, and with open arms, you really have to. And you have to let that negative stuff that happened in the past go, and show them the amazing person that you are by doing that, by opening that grace, giving that grace to them.
absolutely.
So
Period.
that was fun. I enjoyed
That
that.
was
I enjoyed
fun.
the role play, even though it was
Me
kind of hard.
too. That's scary.
All right. Well, it is time for our favorite gentleman, good old Florida Fred, to give us a call. Here we go.
Miss him.
Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from
Freddie.
an inmate at Florida Correctional Institution.
Oh, he's really jovial today. I love it.
Love that.
All right, Paige, you want to get us started with some questions and comments? Before you start, though, every Friday we post on Instagram for your questions or comments for the pod or Speaky Pipes. So go ahead and get us started, Paige.
The first question I have is, have you ever set boundaries? Have you ever, I think, set boundaries for your own mental or emotional well-being with the hubs? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I have to. I love my husband. I love him to death, but we are both cancers and we are both emotional and we are both very big feeling. And like, there are days where I work all day. I come home and I do the jewelry and then I'm done with the jewelry at like 8 and like Joseph's ready to hop on the phone and call and we're talking. Like, I want nothing more than to talk to him, but sometimes I just need like that 30 minutes of silence, and then I'm ready to talk.
Amen. Oh my God. Mine's like probably like an hour, hour and a half.
Yeah.
I stand up and talk all day at work because I'm a teacher. I talk all day. When I get home, and I talk to Michael on my way home from work. So when I get home, I need at least
Silence.
2 hours of just sitting in silence or just doing little things that I need to do for me and not talking to anybody, including him.
Literally, I sometimes when it's a crazy day, I go from work when I was a boss and I had to like also help and mentor people 24/7 when I was at work, then come home and parent a 6-year-old who asks questions constantly about everything.
Why? But
Everything.
why?
But why? But why no? But it's like, but everything. And then it's bedtime. And then Joseph's like, hey, and like, so you know what I mean? So it's like, just sometimes I need my quiet time, and that's the same as anyone else, I think. And being able to make those boundaries are what makes our relationship work, because he knows that when I say things like that or need that time, it's not because I don't like him or I don't want him talking to me or anything like that. It's literally because he knows me and he knows I get overstimulated and I just need time to collect myself or things like that.
Yeah. And I know, some people that may say, well, we don't get that many phone calls. So when he calls, I kind of have, not taking things for granted. And it's not about that. I don't want people to get like misconstrued with that. Of course, phone calls are precious and phone calls and emails are precious. And of course you want to talk to them when they call and you don't want to miss a call, but it is important to set that up. If you need time to set that up, to tell them, okay, look, do not call me between 3 and 5. Like anytime after 5:30, you can ring a ding ding. I will have my phone. I will be ready. But between 3 and 5, I need some time.
Yes. Yes.
So you kind of have to make sure you take care of yourself and manage, your regulation of your feelings and having a job and doing all these things, giving time for yourself, and then setting that up to where, okay, I don't want to miss your call, but you can call me at at any time after this time, so they know. Because yes, those calls are precious, and not everybody gets a call every day. So I want to shout out to those people, because that's tough, and so we get it. But it's also important to take care of yourself too, and set up those boundaries and expectations.
Yes.
And I will say this: I've also had to tell Michael, I don't want to talk right now.
Oh yeah.
Like,
especially if I'm mad.
Yeah, I need some time. Like, he knows I'm one of those people, I need to step back, process, and it's not going to be a good conversation anyway, So. All right, I will do one as well. This one is from Jess. She said, if you had to design your dream home and its location for you and your loved one, what would it be like?
Well, in like a perfect world,
Yes, I guess.
um,
It's a dream.
we would be
Dream.
financially comfortable so that we would live somewhere by the beach and close enough that we would have flood insurance. Because I try to explain flood insurance to Joseph all the time, because he always talks about, why don't you live by X body of water? Hey, babe, do you know how much flood insurance is? Okay.
Yeah.
So in a perfect world, I have money for that, so that's not even a factor. We have a beach house, and it's on a beach, and but also it's a town where things are close, so you don't have to drive far, because I hate driving. And it's not down where it's super hot. Probably it's like mid, maybe like North Carolina
Okay.
type
Yeah, that's
vibe.
nice. Yeah.
And yeah, that would probably be our dream house, because we're both beach babies.
Okay. Nice. A dream house. I would love to build like a log cabin-ish type dwelling. Nice, like a nice cabin, like a not a barn dominium, but like not as big. But obviously, sitting. Michael wants a lot of land, so a lot of acreage, talking like 30, 40 acres. And I would love it to be on in the mountains in Smoky Mountains in Tennessee,
Okay. You
hanging
know,
out with the black bears and
you,
shit.
you
You know
said
what I mean?
about, the Appalachian Mountains are literally right behind my house.
Really?
Yeah.
You go because they go all the way up to Maine.
They do. So it goes
Yeah.
the whole way up, but they're literally the trail that you can walk, the
Oh,
Appalachian
the
Trail,
Appalachian Trail. Yeah.
goes right by it goes through Marysville.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to like when I come up there, I'm gonna have to take a, like just walk the width of it at least.
There's literally like where my house is, so like there's woods like actually pretty close to my house. There's been a bear out by my house before. Like
Oh my
that's
God.
where they come out, and
Oh
that's why we're
yeah.
not allowed to have bird feeders,
Oh, okay.
because
That
they
makes
will
sense.
take it.
Yeah. They
These
love
big black bears.
going in dumpsters. Yeah.
Hmm.
Dumpsters and all kind of stuff.
Apparently, also they're finding a bunch of mountain lions again.
Oh my God, I would love to just be Snow White of the forest and just
I know.
dance and frolic with
Like
all
they're
these
friends
creatures.
with me. Like they get me. In my dream, they know what I'm saying.
I
They
know,
know I'm
like
their friend.
there's little birds. Like when I walk out on my cabin in the morning, there's little birds everywhere, and I'm just going, ah, ah.
Oh my god.
All
Oh,
right, your next one.
yes. Have you ever found any unexpected blessings or moments of growth in your journey? I think any unexpected hill that we ran into somehow ended up being a lesson, or
Oh yeah,
somehow ended up being a moment of growth for us, because at the time, I mean, obviously we jumped over all of them, but at the time we probably felt like we couldn't.
mm-hmm.
I feel like even just Joseph doing OMCP and everything, that was like a really long process to like sign up for it and apply for it and then do the classes and then complete the training and then finish the hours, and like it was a really long thing that we both knew would be really good for him. But I think getting there, and a lot of the self-discovery that he had to do of himself to get
Yeah.
there, because before they let you be a counselor, they have to make sure that everything's good with you. So it was a lot of self-discovery for him, and a lot that he hadn't gotten the chance to do yet. And I think that helped him understand himself more, his crime, himself, me, our relationship. And although I joke about Counselor Joe a lot, it's nice that he's very
He's accomplished a lot with that
he has.
program.
He really,
Yeah.
like, that's why it's like when I think back to the 21-year-old who committed his crime, and I'm just like, I know that's him, but it's not him.
Mm-hmm. It's not the same person.
Yeah.
He's grown so much.
Seriously. He would
Just the
never,
way
like,
he
he would never
handles
want to hurt
situations.
anyone. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's like a whole different. It's the same person, but it's almost like a whole different person in the outlook of things, like handling situations and dealing with stuff. I mean, he's phenomenal. I mean, I've heard the way you talk about how he handles situations, and I'm like, I would not be that awesome handling a situation like that, you know, as well as he does,
He handles me, and I'm a lot. I can be a lot, especially when I get overstimulated. I can admit that. I know that. And he's very good at that. And
He's very good at navigating all that with you
and not
and
making it worse.
working through it with you. Yeah. And being supportive, you know? So kudos to Joe.
Not for him.
I will say that I have definitely grown on this journey. And when I think, like, it's funny, like I used to let every little thing affect me and bother me. And yes, there are still some things that bother me, but it's how I handle them now. You know, we have a lot of negative things in Louisiana happening, and I'm just like, meh, okay. You know, like nothing I can do about it. I've learned to relinquish that control. And all I can do is advocate for Michael. And I think a big moment for me was Michael's clemency hearing. It was a complete shit show. It broke me. It actually
remember
broke
that.
me. But I also feel like the Phoenix in that moment. Like I was at a really low point in my life, really low point when it came to that. And I've done nothing ever since then. Like nothing can break me the way that has broke me. So I feel stronger. I feel more level headed. I feel like I've really matured and grown from these really terrible situations for sure.
Can I say something corny and lame? Because
Oh, I love corny. I love corny and lame. Go.
I know that we're both not like big Jesus people, but like, isn't it weird how like we were pushed into each other's lives like right at that moment? Like when
That's when things started rolling.
when we
That's when we started talking about doing a pod and
Yeah.
getting closer. Yeah.
we like started talking, and then like everything just like happened how it's just like interesting.
Paige, you're my angel.
You're mine.
I'm gonna have a moment. Oh my god.
I'm like, what?
You're my angel. I just think about it. Like God sent me an angel when I needed it, because in that time I didn't have a lot of support.
Me either.
So
Me either.
yeah.
Love you.
I love you.
And look at all of the awesome friends we've made.
I know.
So it's so awesome. It's just everyone needs to when you have these gut feelings to do things, listen to your intuition. Y'all do it.
Yeah. And I was going to say, it's also important to reflect and look back at how much you've grown from the beginning and how much you've changed. Like now when Michael doesn't call a day, I'm not paying. I mean, in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, hopefully nothing bad happened. But, you know, I'm not like sitting here spiraling like I used to, you know?
And we've all been there too. So like, don't let anyone ever tell you they haven't, because like we've all been that woman who didn't get a phone call. And immediately, even if you have the most secure relationship, your brain's like, they're in trouble, they're in the hole, or something like
something bad happened, you know?
You just go to any, and literally nothing happened, but it's your brain trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And you just got to check.
And you're also, I think you also get better at navigating the speed bumps, the road bumps that come in along the way, because, you know, this journey is not easy and there are a lot of challenges and you have to hit it head on with a lot of things. And it just, all those things make you stronger in the end.
Period.
So, yeah. All right. Is it my turn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right, here we go. Okay. Have you ever had, that's the one you just did. Okay. Was that it then?
Do we have a speaky pipe? Someone told me they left a speaky pipe.
We do have a speaky pipe. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. I feel like I missed one. Oh, here we go. Okay. We do have two more.
Okay.
Sorry. I'm going to send you this so you can have it. All right. One is from Addie. Love you, Addie. What's something that happens during visits that would never make sense on the outside?
What is something that needing approval to take a photo home?
Oh, okay.
Racing to the vending machine because your food will be out.
Yeah.
Racing to the microwave because you want to cook your food first.
Ours would probably be, gosh. Not, well, ooh. I was going to say not being allowed to kiss in visit pictures.
Yeah, we can't either.
Okay. Yeah.
God
That's the first thing that
forbid.
popped in my brain.
God forbid.
God forbid you know, even if it's just a peck and you
Yep.
memorialize your visit with a nice little picture.
No, no, no.
Yeah.
It's illegal.
I know Addie probably has some really good answers to this.
I know. Ours,
Oh.
ours. Well, I guess family visit. So
Yeah, or getting told there's too much you're too much contact. Too much
Oh, yeah.
contact. We need you to reel it in a
you're
little
holding
bit.
hands. Too
Yeah.
much touching.
Yeah.
What? Like, what are you talking about? Um. Oh, here, the last one. Go figure. It's kind of the topic that we talked about. How do you deal with the drama from your partner's family? I feel like I'm blessed in a sense that I do not. I'm one of the lucky. From what I understand, I've met a lot of prison wives who have terrible families that they married and got into. Which to me doesn't really make sense because I'm like, you would think that like if someone is with like your child or like your family and they're like taking care of them and loving them, like why are you, why do you have animosity towards them?
Yeah.
But I think a lot of them don't really have those solid family units, which is why a lot of them, kind of ended up in prison. So like there's different stories and, a lot of unhealthy, toxic dynamics that you have to just kind of be thrown into sometimes. And it's learning how to navigate them and set your own boundaries with them too, because like just because they're your partner's family doesn't mean that you should have to put up with being like, berated or anything.
Yeah, I would say I agree. I have a good relationship with Michael's family, other than apart from one of his brothers. His brother and I did not see eye to eye on some things in the very beginning of our relationship, and we just don't talk. But his brother lives very far away in Michigan, so I don't really need. I mean, if he was interested in having a relationship or a friendship, I would be open to it. But I'm not seeking it out. I don't think he's seeking it out either. But him and his brother have a good relationship, so that's good. Like they still stay in contact.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have thought that after you said that.
There was a point at that point where they weren't, but obviously after their mother died,
Yeah.
that, and obviously, like I said, I don't have any ill feelings like anymore. So if sometimes time heals those things. And so, if he was open to, if he friended me on Facebook, I would accept it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to hold animosity against him, but I think he didn't think us being together was a good idea. Like I deserved, in his eyes, I deserved more and than Michael could give me. And he, just saw me as probably just a girl that,
Would leave him.
yeah.
Yeah. I guess I can understand like them being nervous about that, but like if they're just like if it's not warranted, set them up boundaries the same way that you would do with anyone, because no relationship is worth that.
Well, and what set this off was he told me some things, and I obviously went to Michael because I went to my prison wife friends and I said, his brother's telling me this. What should I do? And they're like, you need to tell Michael, because if Michael finds out he's telling you these things and you're not telling Michael, that's going to backfire on you. And I'm okay.
I remember when Michael's cousin messaged you.
Oh, that's another thing too.
Yeah,
Like,
we won't go there,
but so I told Michael, and so him and his brother got into it, obviously. But I think since, like I said, since his mom passed, they've, reformed their relationship, which is great. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, Michael's cousin hit me up. He was going through a breakup with his girlfriend, and he was trying to ask me weird questions like, how do you get sexually fulfilled in your relationship? Like, I've never met this person in my life ever. Like we're friends on Facebook. That's it. So, and he did apologize. He ended up apologizing later because I just chose not to respond to it. I will not respond to stuff if I feel like it's not worth my time or my energy.
What's funny or not funny about that, but ironic. Remember how I told the story on the pod about the news reporter who I was like friends with, who wanted to do a whole story on me and Joe and stuff, and he's still does, and he is a nice guy, but he literally one of the times when he had reached out, he's like, "Can I ask you a question off the record?" And I'm like, "Yeah," not thinking it's gonna be this, but he's like, "How do you deal with like not having like sexual relations and stuff?" And like, well, first off, I do, and you don't even know what you're talking about. And B, what? So like, I didn't even reply. He messaged me recently again.
Oh.
I'm like, so I don't know if I guess silence isn't a big enough answer,
Yeah.
but
Well,
it's just like
he needs to say like, "I'm
boundaries.
sorry for going there with you. I didn't mean
Never
to,"
did.
yeah.
Never
That's
did.
what you should do. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel bad that she's dealing with family drama with her loved one's family, but I think the importance is setting up boundaries for yourself. Yes, when we get in these relationships, we want to be very close to their family because it's like another support system.
It's like them out here.
Yeah. But you can't also let drama affect you. And if you need your peace and your sanity, you may have to set up boundaries and say, look, I don't, it's not, I love you. I love your family, but I don't need this in my life right now.
And I know a lot of people who do that with the families, because it's like sometimes they don't even have healthy relationships with the loved one who's in prison. So it's like, they don't want to cross any bounds with their loved one and be like,
Yeah.
making them mad.
Yeah. All right. I think that was it for the comments and questions, but we do have a speaky pipe. All right, here we go. Speaky pipe. This is from Ceci. Hey, Ceci.
Hi, Paige and Gigi. This is Ceci, sending you both lots of love and strength to you during this Lifer Week. I know it's a tough time, but your love and beautiful spirit are truly inspiring to all of us. You both are a true testament to the power of love and determination. Thank you for being such an incredible example and for inspiring us every single day to continue loving, protecting, and lifting our husbands, because love has no barriers. Our love is definitely love within walls. Love you both, ladies.
Love her.
Hugs, hugs, hugs.
Ceci.
She's amazing. And she
I love
figured it
her.
out. She said, "I'm not good at technology. Look at you. You're leaving a speaky pipe, ma'am."
You did great. And what a beautiful message to leave. Thank you so much, Ceci.
You're amazing.
You're amazing. You're a beautiful person and inside and out. And
I love her, and her and her husband together are they're such a beautiful
they're a beautiful couple.
Yeah.
They are. And what she said was like hit the nail on the head. Like our love is love. It's not what all these people try to make it out to be. It is true love, and we found love in a hopeless place, and it's a beautiful thing. And if you find somebody, it doesn't matter if you find them on the street corner, at the bar, at a restaurant, dropping the milk in the convenience store, or in prison. I mean, you still are able to have that love and that connection. And that's such a beautiful thing.
Period.
So, thank you for that message, Ceci. That says so much in under a minute. You did phenomenal.
Yeah, that was beautiful. We love you.
We love you so much. Thank you. All right. That is all I have, Paige. Did you have anything else?
I'm about all done.
Okay. Can we say that we're gonna have a meme of the week?
Oh no, that was my fault.
Stop. Can I just tell the funny meme that we had for the New Orleans jail real quick? Because this was all right. So there was a picture of they're finding all these people. They're rounding up all these people right now in this Orleans Parish jailbreak thing. And they're rounding up outside people who have been helping these guys escape, right? Well, one of the memes that came out in New Orleans was we found another person. They were bringing them in because they helped with the escape. And it was the Kool-Aid man in cuffs with the marshals. You know what I mean? So I just thought that was cute. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I just had to do that.
I love that. It just like brings me back to like Family Guy. Remember when he would like burst through every wall? Do you see the video of all the Amish men building and moving a house?
No.
That it made me think of it because Family Guy also did apparently like an animation of a bunch of Amish men like lifting up a house and moving it and building it in one day because they like do
wow.
that shit. They like do that.
Oh
shit.
yeah. Because don't they have a lot of Amish where you are?
They do. Yeah.
Okay.
Horse and buggy and all.
Oh my god! If I see one, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna be so excited.
We have to go to Lancaster so you can see them because they're everywhere there. They have they have shops. They have their own shops where they sell all the stuff that they make.
Yes, potted
so
meat.
cool.
That's what I need in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I really want some honey. The honey up there is divine.
People say that.
Mm-hmm.
They make good
really is.
furniture, so.
Yeah. All right, y'all. Well, thank you for tuning in to A Prison Wife Podcast, episode 59. And we'll have a meme for you this week, we promise. And we love you endlessly. Thank you for being part of our community.
Wait.
Oh,
We have two things.
we have two
That
things.
will also come out probably this week that they'll see.
Okay, you want to talk
actually,
about
we have one, and the other is a reminder because
it? Okay.
I'm brain dead.
All right, go ahead.
Please watch our ads on YouTube. Please sit through them the whole time. Please let it
Do the
ride out.
surveys.
Yeah, if there's a survey, take the survey. If you want to sit after you take it, do that too. Some of y'all have really been pulling through. I don't know if some of y'all are pulling up our videos and letting the ads sit, but y'all, we still aren't at the part where we can cash out our check because you got to make $100 on YouTube to cash out a check. We're not there yet, but y'all are making it really close to happening, and that's exciting in its own thing, you know?
Thanks to y'all.
Yes, so thank you guys for that, and keep that up. We love you. The second one is that we'll probably release graphics and a sign up for our interviews that we want to start. We'll probably have more info on our pod that'll come out next week, but we'll probably be releasing things this week.
Yes. Oh, thank you. Yes, our Prison Wife story series we're doing again. So be on the lookout if it's not out now. Be on the lookout for a Google form link where you can submit if you would like to be on the pod and share you and your loved one's story.
And if you've already submitted it before, please feel free to submit it again.
Yes.
Because I know there was a good amount that submitted last time, and we only were able to do like 4 or 5. So like, don't feel like you are annoying or anything. Like, please submit.
No,
your story.
please submit. Yeah, please, please, please. We would love to hear your story. All right, and Paige, do we have an emoji for our wallers who are at this point in the pod?
Let's do the sparkles.
Ooh, magic.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun,
I
dun.
wish I had a. Do I even have one?
It's one of my most used emojis.
I know. I just wish I had a. I really don't. I don't have a. I was gonna say I wish I had like a sparkly, a sound bite, but I don't. I have Taco Bell.
All right.
I wish I had like like a little fantasy thing.
I'll take the Taco Bell.
Thanks.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we love you. Be on the lookout for our Google form. Come see us in Love Within Walls. We just finished Life for Wife Week, which was amazing. Thank you to everybody that participated in Life for Wife Week. And we have a lot of fun things coming for this summer. So come join us. We would love to have you if you need support. All right, guys. Well, we hope you have a great hump day, a great work week, and an even better weekend. We love you. Thank you for being here with us.
Love you, friends.
Besitos.
Have a great week. Happy June.
Happy June. Welcome to summer. We're getting
the-
there. All right. Love you guys. Bye.
This is for the ones who love through the distance, for the ones who stay solid while time keeps ticking, for the ones who hold it down but never lose themselves. This is for the prison wives. Still don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change. Still don't break, love don't fold. I hold strong, I don't go, I don't wait, I don't beg. I hold it down and lift my head. They don't see the late nights, letters on the table, fighting through the system, just trying to stay stable. They don't see the count days, they don't feel the time crawl. They just see the sentence, but they don't see the love at all. Yeah, I made choose to stay. This love got walls, but it don't got chains. Don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change. Still don't break, love don't fold. I hold strong, I don't go. I don't wait, I don't beg. I hold it down and lift my head. I'm a prison wife, but I'm still my own. Made my own moves, still stand on my throne. They think I'm just sitting here wasting my days. Nah, baby, I've been building while he counting the days. I ride for my love, I ride for my king, but I ain't no fool, I handle my biz. I ain't weak, I ain't lost, I ain't throwing my worth. I hold it down cause I know what it's worth. Through the letters, through the calls, through the gates, through it all. Love don't break, love don't fade. I'm still here, I'm still brave. Still don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change. Still don't break, love don't fold. I hold strong, I don't go. I don't wait, I don't beg. I hold it down and lift my head.
Don't break, love don't fold. I'm still here, I'm still gold. Through the glass, through the gates, ain't no distance make me change.
Still don't break,